And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday on TLD Chat. My name is Brent Schlenker. I'll be your host today. I'm your host every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. GMT for those of you in the UK. And today, like I said, is Video Friday. And normally I'd hit a button or I'd have Sam Rogers on here kicking off on a theme song for us. But maybe we'll get that started, kicked up soon again, as soon as we get this thing dialed in. So I'm working with a new mic stand today. It looks a little clunky, so I'm probably not going to do this again, but I only have a few minutes every morning to kind of prep for this. So yeah, so it is what it is. And again, this is experimentation. If you do not know what TLDC is, we are the Training, Learning, and Development Conference, Community, Chat, and anything else you can think of that begins with C. Training, Learning, and Development is what we do. We support the industry. We support everyone doing great work in training, learning, and development. Everyone from our fabulous and fantastic vendors in the community that work hard to build and sell us the products that we need to do our job, all the way down to those students in school learning about instructional design, about educational technology, about e-learning development, about media to create learning content, and everybody in between, training managers, chief learning officers, e-learning designers and developers, training professionals, trying to think of all the other buzzwords. Wow, I think I saw a list once. It had like 75 different titles of people that work in our industry. So it's a large group of people that I think a huge chunk of get underserved in our community. And what I'd like to do is seek all of you out and find you. Not, plenty of you are already dialed into the industry, your professional development, and an organization that helps you get through that. And I think that is fantastic. But I do know that there is a large group of folks that do the work of training professionals that are not currently dialed into the industry as a whole. And we're here for you. We want to be that community for you. We want to make it easy for you. We want to just give you a chance to chat with peers and colleagues and learn more. Learn about opportunities in the training, learning, and development industry, and to be able to just know that it's a place where you can just hang out with colleagues that are passionate about the same things as you. And my phone is just tweeting and zinging and dinging off the hook, so I'm just going to put it on stun. And we'll keep this going. So those of you that don't know, we have a fantastic giveaway that we're going to figure out as we go along today. Matt Pierce is in the chat room. Hi, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Matt is from Techsmith. He has graciously offered to give away a copy of Camtasia for us. And we are going to figure out how to do that. But I will tell you this right out the chute. The number one requirement that you absolutely need is to be signed up at tldc.us for our newsletter. So if you do not, if you have not signed up for our fantastic informational newsletter, I would encourage you to go over and get your email into the tldc.us website newsletter box. Let's see if I can find, there we go, subscribe for updates. There we go. And we're putting in all of our archived videos from TLDC, from TLD chat here. And so you can go back and you can listen up and learn from all of the different events. I continue to request from the community suggestions on topics. What do you think is working for TLDC? Why do you like coming here? Is it what you need? Are we giving you the type of content that you need? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? I like to think of TLD chat as a sort of continuous hallway conversation. So yes, this is going to be pretty informal every single morning at 8 a.m. And bits and pieces of it are going to be formalized because we do understand and value your time. And so we do want to give you a heads up as to what we're going to be talking about, or what we might be talking about, I should say. Because every now and then, we have a great conversation that starts up that I think is worthy to continue. And so we just roll with it. And we may not actually touch on the intended topic for the day. And I think that's okay. Others may not, but if an overwhelming majority of you say, Brent, you need to work on your tangents and not getting off track so often, I will absolutely do so, and we will dial it in a little bit more tightly. But again, this is an experiment. We're getting better as we go. We're doing things differently every single morning, and I hope you'll continue to join us, and also find the share button and click and share this thing. Yes, Dana is absolutely right. I am cool with inviting squirrels. You crack me up. Got the newsletter this morning. Great. Awesome. Yeah, Luis does a fantastic job aggregating our content and pushing out that newsletter. So it's all good stuff. We have a massive team of people that help us crank out this content every single day and give value back to the community. So that's it here. So if you look down the bottom, I was just going to say, so let me encourage you also to share tldc.us on all of your social media channels with all of your friends. It is important to us, like I said, to reach that community of professionals that may not know we exist and may be really interested in getting some help in their career and everything that they do. I will take 2 minutes here real quick. Actually, I'd like to be done and wrapped up with my little intros by 10 after. So what I wanted to do next was give you the why again. I know we've got one new person on here. I hope I say your name right. Anchored. Is there accents in the right place? I don't know. You might have to help me out there. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I really am. I try really hard to give it a shot when new people jump on. But okay. Thank you for being so forgiving. I try. Anyways, yeah, click the share button right underneath the video there, everybody, and share it out to your friends and neighbors. And I'll talk just briefly here about why and what is the focus of the things that we do. These are the rings of focus, the 5 rings of focus that we talk about here. And it's how we organize the content that we talk about, because in my opinion, these are the things that we do. These are the basic areas that you need to understand. And like I've said before, this probably works for any industry, but it all starts with you in the center and focusing on you. And I know it sounds a little bit selfish and a little bit, maybe a lot of you might take issue with this, a focus on yourself, but that's okay too. I just think it's important that we understand and learn from each other tips and tricks on how to better improve ourselves personally, because I believe that as we get more comfortable and confident in who we are and the work that we do, we then can impact the remaining 4 rings and all of the elements outside those rings that can help you in your career. So as you're more confident, as you have a structured, disciplined work environment or workflow, you get better at your projects. And when you focus on your projects, you're better at focusing on your projects. And when you're better at your projects, you get better at functioning on teams. And teamwork is important. Managing teams, talking about teams is important. then how does your training team interact with the IT organization, the HR organization, all of the other organizations that you support within the company, whether it's sales, engineering, planning and logistics, warehousing people, channel partners, all of that. How does that work, and how do you function in that organizational space? And then there's our industry and the industry of learning professionals. And I think every day hanging out here with the TLDC community on TLD chat is a great way for you to give back and to share what you know with the industry. And there's a lot of different ways that we're putting together opportunities for everybody to do that. So today is Video Friday. And so, of course, we need to talk about some video topics today. And for those of you who don't know, I think most of you know that Learning Solutions is going on. That's the only real bit of news going on this week. And that's where most of our people are. So we might have Sam jumping in. Anybody new or watching the archived video, Sam Rogers, the fantastic video man, the one mouth band, the Snap Synapse man. He is my basically co-producer, has been for a while when we did LD Talk, and helps me out a lot with how we are going to be doing TLD chat as well. So we always look forward to having him to talk video. And so I don't have any real defined topic about video today, but you guys all know me and know that I can I'll riff on just about anything. And I have a couple ideas of maybe some YouTube videos we could watch for some examples and talk through. Or we could talk about a new tool that we're trying for video. Absolutely. How do we get a good recap going of events? Maybe a roundtable of highlights sometime. Yeah, there's a fantastic idea. After events wrap up, maybe we can invite some of the folks that attended to join us and hit those highlights. I think that's a great idea. Matt, you want to jump in? I'm going to go ahead and invite you on the video since you are our guest last week and are offering up such a fantastic giveaway for us and our people. I am going to, let's see, stop sharing. Man, I get so close to accidentally kicking that stop broadcast button, and that is not good. There we go. So yeah, so this particular app, crowdcast.io, is fantastic. It's a little different than Blab, where people could just kind of jump in and jump out. So I have to get used to having to invite people again. So hi, Matt. How's it going?
Good. I'm trying to adjust cameras here. Do I got audio? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay.
I'm just trying to, I all of a sudden had to adjust mine because I thought we might get some feedback. So I turned it down a little bit.
So
we'll see what happens.
What I want to try to do is I got to figure out where I can change my settings, because I've got a colleague of mine purchased a Black Magic box. Black Magic is a company, and it basically you can take your DSLR and use it for web streams like this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's some software I was going to try last week as well. But so I want to get the comparison, but I got to figure out where the settings are for me to adjust here. Because I'm using, that's why I put my finger up to the camera, because I was like, which one is really pulling in?
Yeah, I think if you, let's see here. I get one of those gear wheels comes on when I sign on, when I first jump in.
I wonder if, because I think oh, wait. Oh, there we go. There's a gear wheel. Let's change.
Oh, I know what it is. Go look up in your URL. The URL window. It gives you the ability to switch which camera.
How about that?
There we go. Yeah.
Hard part is I'm a one-man show, so can't adjust focus. But yeah, so this is pulling through a Canon 60D. There is a box, and it's going to be hard to pull up here, so I don't unplug everything. It's got basically HDMI in from the camera.
Okay.
USB out to my laptop. And then it's got a little screen on the front, so I can see kind of a preview here. The one thing, now it's not looking too bad because we're kind of, if I was full screen, it actually, you can see a little white line.
Well, here, hold on a second. Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, so you can see the focus box kind of right here.
Yeah.
That's what's on the camera natively. And so we couldn't figure out how to turn that off. So
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it's a little bit of a problem, but the cool thing is, and I'm going to probably mess things up here, so let me step out for a second. Can't see. So cool. Probably.
Yeah, the quality is really, really good.
So now I just zoomed in, and like I think this is a much better shot. Now the problem is I can't do this because I look like I'm jumping back and forth looking at my screen. But however, hey, look at that.
That's nice.
So
what now give us some details on this again. What is this called? And maybe Craig, thank you for jumping in. Craig are fantastic. I'm going to give him some props right now. He's offered to help us out with notes and taking some good notes for us, and he does a fantastic job of it. Thank you, Craig.
So I'm guessing it's all coming through reverse image as well, right? So it looks.
Oh no, I can read it actually.
Okay. So
yeah,
Blackmagic Web Presenter. There is a little screen and switcher you can buy for it as well. We have that. I don't know if you need it, but.
Maybe somebody can quick do an Amazon search and get a buy now link in there or something.
Yeah.
How much about does it run? Do you remember?
I think we figured it was, I didn't do the purchasing, so I think it's around 400 though. So,
okay.
But
now, so let me ask you this, and maybe you have an answer or not, but I vaguely remember somebody telling me that the reason why they don't offer up the ability in most DSLRs to be a webcam is because opening up the lens and leaving it open like that in a DSLR burns out the chip or something like that.
Yeah, it's a sensor issue. And I suppose if you're doing hundreds and hundreds of hours or thousands of hours, that will be a problem. For what we're doing, may or may not be an issue. I mean, so right now the DSLR automatically stops recording. This one, the 60D, stops recording at 12 minutes. So automatically shuts off. And that's part of that kind of like, we don't want the sensor to overheat. And there's a good chance this could all blow up and I could ruin the camera.
But you're willing to take that chance for us today. Thank you.
I'm willing to take the chance. This is, we have other cameras that we use more often. So this one is, I'm willing to take the hit on it because I want to try it. I think the cool thing about this is it works instead of like, I don't have to do anything codec wise. I just say it's a web camera. The box does all the conversion for me. Right. So I can choose it in any program. Yep. So Skype, I pulled up Camtasia. It worked. Obviously this, I just had to switch to the right microphone to the right camera. And then I've got high quality web camera video, which I think is kind of a game changer, right? Like it's not the crappy in a little box. Some web laptops have good cameras, but I don't know. This seems pretty cool.
It's fantastic. Yeah, the Logitech 920 is still a great webcam, a great go-to. And even from some of the pros that do this all the time have said that's the only one they buy. They'll just buy boxes and boxes of the 920 and like just hand them out to people that need them and use them for just about everything that they do. So I'm comfortable still using that. But wow, to be able to use a camera like that to get that depth of field and whatnot, like I'd love to be able to just keep these backgrounds that I have, my black screen of doom, but just like, but do my keep my depth of field a little bit more shallow so that it blurs out mostly, so you don't see the wrinkles in my curtain. Then I might keep it a little bit longer. Well,
and part of it, like, because I don't have that much distance to my wall here. It's like an arm's length, and I should probably push further that way towards the camera and have the camera further back. The other thing is you just need distance, right? Even with webcams, the more distance I can put between me and that wall, that more of the depth of field will come into play. But so far, we'll see if the camera survives, but it's neat. On Windows, there is software that will do similar things. I'm hoping to try that sometime soon. So maybe we can do another test sometime, but
absolutely. Yeah. Anytime you want to test something out, you feel free. We're your test bed.
Great. Cause I'm trying to learn a lot of stuff that I don't know about. And this is one, cause I think, I've been a proponent of video as like being active engagement, kind of lots of change, like lots of, you produce it, right? Like here's all the different things. And I started watching the series of videos that this one guy creates. And he's talking about all things in the world, Dungeons and Dragons. I know, super nerdy. Cause
but we love it.
My kid wants to play, and I'm like, I remember playing as a kid. I remember it was fun, but I don't remember like enough. And so I've been watching these videos, and I thought, I'm going to watch a couple just to get the kind of the mechanics down. And it turns out this dude is like an awesome storyteller. Like he's engaging, and it's just him, camera, talking. And I thought, there's no way I'm watching half an hour. I've watched multiple hours now. Maybe I shouldn't be proud of that, but
okay. What's this guy's name? Is he the guy that's on the documentary that does?
I don't know. I haven't seen a documentary, but his name is Matthew Colville. He is a writer, and he works on different video games, like writing storyline and helping building the world.
Okay, yeah, no, this is a different guy. But if you've never seen it, Luis turned me on to this documentary. Now I can't even remember the name of it.
Luis can put it in the chat, Yeah.
It's toss that up there. What's the name of it again? Oh my gosh, if we could stream a 360 camera, wow, we could go all day on that.
Oh yeah. It's just to answer that question, it is just a HDMI, so whatever your camera will accept to HDMI. So
that means that the Samsung 360 could plug into that box, and you could possibly stream the 360.
Yeah, I mean,
but it might not convert it though, because it would have to stitch on the fly.
Right. I don't know how the box will handle the 360. It might just turn out to be like a kind of weird panoramic kind of, I guess I got only limited hand space.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be long and narrow. But it might be interesting to play with.
Interesting to try. Yeah. That's what it's called. The Dwarvenaut. Okay. So you have to watch that. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons, you have to watch that. Luis recommended it to me, and I got sucked into it, and it is the nerddom of nerddom documentaries, but but in a fantastically wonderful way. You just it's good stuff.
Well, and the thing about it is, it's like, okay, so there's the whole D&D part of it, but I think what was most incredible to me is it's someone who makes video and it kind of preaches about video in terms of like things you should do. I'm against the talking head kind of generally in terms of making a produced video. Like, I think real conversations, what's important, like in this kind of thing, but the guy he can tell a story for 25, 30 minutes. And some of it's kind of giving you tradition. Like, as a dungeon master, here's what you should be doing, kind of thinking about. And some of it's just like talking about the campaigns he's running. It's just like, I want to play with this guy, because I think it would be amazing to sit through just that, like just even to hear. So that's exactly what this documentary is about. You'll love it. I guarantee you'll love it. The guy is an incredible storyteller, and he builds miniatures. He does the miniatures thing. And I remember what it was now. He had a Kickstarter for his latest kit that he was selling of all of his pieces and whatnot. It's cool. You got to see it. I don't want to get us too far off topic, but yes. And this actually kind of connects up with what we were talking about yesterday, when the three folks that we had on at Learning Solutions were talking about one of the keynotes and what was important about it, and what Katie Stroud was talking about in her session on storytelling and how important storytelling is. And I know, and I know we both hear about and talk about, folks in our industry saying talking heads are bad, talking heads are bad, talking heads are bad. You need to have interactivity and engagement and all this kind of stuff. But if the talking head is engaging and knows how to tell a story, then that's not so bad, right? I mean, your story is a perfect example of that. If a guy can sit there and entertain you with content that you're interested in hearing, then all of the rules, right, that we come up with as an industry for what learning content should be kind of just go flying out the window. Absolutely. Right? If the match is perfect, right, it's your need
and the content that somebody's creating match, that's the magic, right? There's no sprinkling instructional design fairy dust that's going to make that any better.
Well, you don't have any of that, Brent? I mean, just no. I think that's a really important point, and something that I've been really kind of harping on with some of my last sessions is that relevancy is super valuable, right? Like if it's not relevant, I don't care how good it is, I'm not watching it. So that relevancy's got to kind of transcend. Now, I think what's even to take that a little bit further beyond just relevancy is that, okay, it's still relevant to me, but it engaged me in such a way, and it's just, again, talking head, but engaged me in such a way that now I've stopped listening to several podcasts in the last week because I'm like, okay, I'm going to put those on hold because I can come back to them because I want to get through this, because I want to hear. Yeah. And so it's gotten me deeper into it, like, which is exactly, I think, what we want for our learners, right? We don't want you just to know X, or like, let's say it's, how to do the X procedure. We want you kind of to be able to go deeper. We don't want you lost in the weeds. Man, if you go and then you're like, I'm going to go learn more about why this is this way or how I can make this better. That is like mission, goal, objective, achieve for company plus bonus stats, right? Like, yeah. See, I'm really into this D&D stuff now as I'm super.
Yeah, there you go. Plus 10. Yeah, for sure. Right. We all roll 20s, right?
Yeah. Critical hit. So there's some chatter here that we should start, there's some talk more about D&D. But the other thing I've been thinking about, and this is maybe less relevant to video unless you get into interactive videos, just that like if you do add in the engagement, the kind of the creation of the understanding beyond, and I think video can do that, right? It sets the scenario, it sets the place, the challenge for the learner, and it doesn't just have to be all kind of descriptive, like here, watch this, and hopefully you take something away from it. I think we can be more creative with that. It's relevant. Now let's get you thinking and deeper engagement beyond just like sit and stare at the screen, which I think a lot of video is. And sometimes that can be okay for certain purposes, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that was one of the things that came up yesterday too, was we were talking about characters and how we don't really go that far into depth with the characters because there was a Disney animator on. And when we're doing videos, right, for e-learning and training and whatnot, and we do like maybe scenarios, right, like a sexual harassment scenario, like, and to try to show people what is sexual harassment, what isn't sexual harassment, we tend to jump right into the content, like the script is right in the middle of the storyline. And there's never really any character development. Like we don't really have any sort of empathy for the characters. We don't really know who they are until like we recognize the harassment, and then we start to kind of feel for them. But, the first thought that struck me yesterday was, I wonder if we created like a universe in our training departments, right? Or if we built some sort of character set that we use on a regular basis where those characters are developing and we get to know them, kind of like you do in a sitcom or even a comic strip or something like that. Once you start, reading, you get to know the characters, you get to know how they are, how they react, all that kind of stuff. And, it's a lot of extra work, right? It's not as easy as just writing a 10-minute script and saying, okay, boom, that's that scene. But I wonder if we wouldn't get more engagement and more interest, if we did things like that.
Well, I think that gets into a lot of what other groups that are not L&D are doing. Like if you look at user experience or UX, they're doing that all the time. They're creating their personas and they're using those personas to help them not necessarily make all the decisions, but to help kind of guide like, okay, well, this persona, this is some of the things they might see. And I think where we probably fail, and this is true for video, I think, and it relates because, if you're doing any kind of scenario-based video, it's all story-driven or it's all character-driven. And so, yeah, I think we need to get better at making those personas. And once you've got a good set of personas, like, because your audience, usually, we should say usually, because not always, but like if you're doing internal, maybe onboarding or, some kind of compliance training or whatever, who's going to be going through that. They're all kind of different, but you might have your generic personality types but give them some richness, right? Give them that backstory. Like, maybe there's somebody in that sexual harassment thing and that's whatever side they're on. And their story is that they've had this really terrible kind of couple weeks or month or year. And somehow that maybe contributes in, and not that to excuse anything or, to say, oh, it's going to be worse for this person because that's, they've had that on top, but to understand, and like that you said, the empathy for your characters and for your people, because ultimately I think we know when characters are really shallow and fake and we don't connect. And I think a lot of what we're trying to do is connect, and that video is good at that. Like, because that's why we watch movies, because we can suspend disbelief and go into the movie and believe whatever's happening, whether it's a dramatic or romantic story to, Michael Bay blowing stuff up. whichever happens first.
Which is actually the best.
Romantic Michael Bay.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could get a project where we got to train people on how to blow stuff up. That would be outstanding.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Work for like what the Mythbusters did, just how to do that safely.
Yes, it's educational content to the max, without a doubt. So let me just encourage everybody again, while we have Matt on here. I hate to curb the conversation as we're cruising along here, but for our giveaway today, we want people to go sign up for our newsletter, tldc.us, and we will match up who's signed up for our newsletter and who's in the who's in the cast, watching the cast today. We have a list of people as they jump in, and then Luis had a great idea. Maybe we'll roll a 10-sided die to see who ultimately wins. Sticking with the theme, but we will. Yeah, we will for sure make sure we dial that in. So, and make that happen. But yes, so go to the newsletter, sign up, tldc.us, and check it out for sure. We're going to be probably pushing out some more newsletters. Obviously, TLDC. TLDC 17 or possibly 18, right? We'd love to get some feedback from everybody as well on what would work for you for an event, right? As a community, do y'all think that the November timeframe is good? Maybe early November? I know Craig is pushing hardcore for the East Coast, and we will absolutely make that happen for you at some point. But we've got to figure all this stuff out on our own home turf first before we can expand. Yes, a few thousand miles further east. We're going to do that too, Lisa. We'll conquer the world at some point, without a doubt. But again, we really want to leave this up to you guys, our community, and the folks that like hanging out, that like what we're doing at TLDC. We're doing it for you guys, and we're doing it to help everybody get better at what you do. And so, we want you guys to all play a role in making some of these decisions for us as well, because we can only do so much without your help. If you're not interested in what we're doing, then we're not going to be able to keep doing it. So, end of October, early November this year, or would you rather have us wait until January? We found some great locations in Phoenix, or one in particular, but I know there's some other ones. But so we're fairly certain we're going to do it in Phoenix the next round. But what would be a good date for everybody? Is that is November too close? January too far? The weather is beautiful both times of year. So, either way, it's good stuff. Is that too much of a clash with Devler? No, because we're a different beast, Lisa. Definitely different. We were originally concerned about that, but we're going to be a lot less expensive. So we want to be the alternative to all of the events, not just DevLearn, but all of the other events that are out there. there are plenty of people who can't go to events unless they get asked to speak, right? Because the $1,300, $1,500, whatever registrations are these days, not many people can dip into their pocket for that kind of registration fee. And so if your corporation can't or doesn't let you go to more than one event a year, and you don't get selected to speak, chances are you're not going to be going. What we want to offer up is another alternative. So for those people that don't go to all of those regular events, TLDC will be the right place at the right time. For people who go to all the events, if we end up landing on the same week as one of the other events, I'm sorry, you're going to have to choose. And we're okay if you don't choose us. Yes, choose wisely. But, like Lisa, you've been to many, many, many events. So, there are a lot of folks who have not been to any events ever, new people to our industry and whatnot. And obviously, some of the larger, more established events are going to offer those folks some incredible value right out the chute. But then there are other folks, in the industry that maybe just don't have that kind of money. And are looking for just a different experience. We're offering just a different experience altogether. So, that's kind of the mindset behind that. But would love to have you, Lisa, fly out and hang out with us and be one of our speakers. We would love to have some of our UK colleagues part of the TLDC experience before we can actually move it to the UK. But anyways, that's a much longer little commercial than I wanted to jump into, but don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Okay, back to Video Friday.
Video. It's hot. I hear it's really hot.
Video is a hot topic. It's a very hot topic. It's what we do. So why is it a hot topic, Matt? Like, what are you seeing from the Techsmith side? I can sit up here and say and blog about it and tweet about it and say, oh my gosh, video is like exploding and it's huge, but that's just me. And sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to the wind. You're a pro, you're living in it, you're working in it. What do you see?
So I think one thing that's interesting is this is not an L&D thing. We see that video is growing across the board for like marketing is growing. It's going crazy. And some of that, I think the availability of the technology to make decent video is just made it kind of leveled the playing field. So now everyone can get in on it. And so more people are using it. The more people are measuring it. And so they're seeing effectiveness coming out of it. So it's not just like, oh, we're going to go and spend, $50,000 on this video creation and there's going to be no return. They're saying, no, we see results. So marketing is huge. Sales is another one that's there's been a lot of uptick in video. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, I've gotten several emails from, kind of unsolicited emails for whatever service, and they included a video. Now, it doesn't play in the email itself, but what it does is I click on it and it takes me out to like a 30-second video. We've had examples people shared around the office that other companies are doing where they've personalized that message. So it'd be like, hey, Brent, this is Matt, and I work with Techsmith, and we've got this new thing we'd like you to check out. If you like, I'd love to spend some time with you. Can we schedule a call? Whatever it might be. Yeah. And there, people are seeing lots of impact with that as well. So video growth is I think we've made it super, super easy with a phone and with a little equipment, a decent camera. Even DSLRs, given the budget, some companies, it's not that big of an expense. It's definitely not super cheap, but so I think that's just a big part of it is that people are using it. They're seeing impact and results, and we've removed a lot of the barriers because 10, 15 years ago, you really had to probably go to a production house and say, here's what we want. Let's script it out. We're going to spend $50, $60, $70, $100,000. And now, a couple $1,000, you've got your gear. You could do pretty good with a little bit of knowledge, or
just your cell phone.
I've got my phone, maybe maybe I invest in a microphone, which is always a good investment. And I go. So, so I think that's part of it, but I think it's also exciting because as a medium, it's not new, but we're familiar with it. So it's, it's got this kind of newness in terms of that we can do it, but it's also familiar. So people aren't, oh, I just lost my camera. So there's
your 12 minutes are up.
Oh man, let's see how this, I'm going to turn it back on and see if we can bring it back up. If not, I'll switch to the other camera.
All righty.
Good to know though.
Yeah, you're going to have a timer. Maybe when there's like 30 seconds left, the camera should beep at you or something.
It should. It really should.
And Lisa makes a great point. You're cracking me up. We find it easy, but I still think it's intimidating for some. We do it because none of us will shut up. Are you talking about me? Luis, yeah, he's using the I totally get it. I feel you, Lisa. I really do. Yeah, the 60D. Yep. Is what he's using.
Okay. Hey, look at that.
Yep, you're back.
So I will say there is software you can put on Canon cameras. They might have something equivalent for Nikons called Magic Lantern. It is an open source little thing you install. They make a bunch of warnings before you install it saying this could ruin your camera. You might void your warranty, use at your own risk, but it unlocks a ton of features on your camera, including, I think, protecting against what just happened as well. And like some cool stuff to help you to focus. It's free. I've used it. It works really well. So something that might be totally worth, if you're going to try this stuff, look into. So yeah,
check it out. All right. What's the name of that again? Let's get that into the chat. So
Magic Lantern.
Magic Lantern. All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. It's, have you seen the Samsung commercial with Casey Neistat?
I haven't.
It is fantastic. They're airing it a lot for some reason on during March Madness with all the basketball games and everything. Samsung, I guess, is a big sponsor in there, so they're playing that commercial quite a bit. But he's the guy. I don't know. Many of you maybe don't know who Casey Neistat is, but if you want to see a guy that has really, really made a career for himself, of quite a lucrative career, I might add, in video, and not doing it the pro way, like being a YouTuber, and just being what he calls just a filmmaker. He's an incredible guy. His backstory is fantastic. Just a guy that came from nothing. And just out of sheer desire, started his YouTube career, filmmaking career, basically with an old point and shoot that shot video, and he just kept working at his craft, finally devoted himself to creating a video a day, and it kind of launched that whole daily vlogging type thing. But his vlogs were like not just walking around and then editing together 30 minutes of him just walking around. I mean, literally every day was a very, very well done movie, and he worked very hard to make every single video that he did really well done, and just an amazingly energetic and talented guy. You just got to go check him out. Go check out Casey Neistat. Google him. He'll pop up everywhere, but he doesn't do the daily vlog anymore. He now has this gig with CNN and other folks to cover big events, doing his vlogging thing. Basically, they just said, do what you do, but do it for us at certain special events, I think is how it kind of went down.
That's cool. I think there's something to that whole formula, right? Like if someone like that can just kind of make their way through video and not have all the film school and the, the technical production background, and there's nothing wrong with those technical production backgrounds, but it just means that like you're kind of got this different level of understanding. But like that's what I think is so attractive about video. It's leveling the playing field across all these different markets, because you don't have to be into it so deep. You can just be like, I'm going to do this. And if you're engaging, you make good story, good content, or have something valuable to say that's relevant to your audience that you've identified. Yeah, you can do that. You can move through the ranks. YouTube has been great at democratizing kind of entertainment in that way, because people have this sense of like, this is who I want to talk to. This is my audience. And I don't care about all those other people. And it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to get a 30-minute time slot on NBC. And so I think that then we can take those principles and apply it to like, okay, well, I'm in marketing. What would video be good for? And how can I do it? And I just think all these things have converged together to make kind of the world a much more friendly video world. And I think by 2020, it's going to be crazy to see what we can do because the technology keeps getting cheaper and it keeps getting better and it keeps getting easier to use.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Right. And that's kind of what this commercial is all about that he does. At the very end, it's like everybody asks the same question. When people tell us we can't, everybody has the same answer. Watch me. And it's just kind of that whole attitude that a lot of the YouTubers out there, I think, currently have, and what's made them big. There's a big event coming up. I think it's either in June or July called VidCon that was created by two YouTubers that did educational content of all things. They did educational kids content, like history. I think they did either history or science videos. And they realized this was a huge deal. And hey, let's do an event and get all these YouTubers together. And VidCon has just become massively huge. It's not anything like an event like our industry. Okay, let me just tell you that right now.
We don't have 14-year-old screaming girls.
No 14-year-old screaming girls. And I think we're probably good. We're good with that, actually.
Having a 14-year-old screaming girl sometimes, yes, I'm good with that not being at our events.
At the events, yeah, I got enough of those at the house. so
about VidCon, Brent, that's the Green brothers. And John Green, I think it's John that wrote The Fault in Our Stars. So he's also like a young adult author. Like
I did not know that.
Yeah, these guys are amazing. And VidCon, it's gotten to the point where some of these YouTubers, they bring security with them.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's crazy.
And there's also a professional there. So a couple of years ago, they actually split. There was like kind of just a YouTube fandom kind of thing that was happening. And then they split and now there's an industry piece.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to go. I haven't had a chance to make it yet, but I think it would be really interesting to hear kind of that business industry side of things, because there's a lot of work that's happening. There used to be a blog and they got purchased by a company, but Real SEO, that's REEL SEO, a guy named Mark Robertson started that. And that was great for like learning about kind of the marketing SEO side of things. But I mean, they would be looking at things like, okay, here's how the Super Bowl ads performed kind of through that YouTube lens and kind of online video lens. So I learned a ton from looking at that to say, okay, how do we apply that now to kind of e-learning industry, learning professionals? I mean, we should be taking notes from what our marketing colleagues are doing and saying, okay, how do we get better at this so we can apply these same type of principles to our videos? Yeah,
the industry track for VidCon is run by a guy named Jim Louderback, who I know from a long time ago. I think I met him at an Elliot Mazie event, and we've stayed connected over the last few years. Kind of lost touch for a while, but have recently talked again. And a little bit about VidCon too. I keep asking because he's the one that produces the business side of it, the industry segment, right? So they break it up into three segments. There is, I guess, just fans. Then there's creators, and then there's industry. Are the three different segments. And I've always wanted to go to the industry piece of it as well, but it's just never worked out. Maybe this year.
It's one more thing on the list, right? Like,
yeah, right. I know. Like, there aren't enough cool things to go to these days, for sure. But anyways, great. So yeah, YouTube slows me. You face the internet. Oh yeah. Yeah, my kids. I think my kids enjoy watching their favorite YouTubers more than regular TV. Without a doubt. And I think the whole YouTube industry and video, maybe this will be like kind of my wrapping comment here for today before we get too close to the 9 o'clock hour. But, I think video has been a big part of launching this influencer economy, right? Like giving influencer marketing and this whole new arm, new way to make money, right? You do what you love and you build up a big enough audience, you become influential, and there is value in that. And now advertisers will find you and say, hey, would you mind, hey, you got a great makeup vlog or whatever, would you, we'll send you, cases of free makeup and tell everybody about our, the makeup or whatever,
One of the biggest segments on YouTube, actually, in terms of growth and advertising.
Oh, makeup. Really?
Yep. Beauty tutorials is huge.
Beauty and fashion, right? Yeah.
It's where the money is.
Yeah.
You're good.
That's what my daughter watches. And oh my gosh, Anthony, Tyler Oakley, my youngest daughter, is a huge fan, and I took her and her friend to his book signing when his book came out. And the picture that she got with him is the cutest darn picture I think I've ever seen. It's fantastic. So, huge fan. Totally get it. They want us.
Thanks, Sam. I'm rocking the one ear so I can actually hear myself talk.
Hey, Sam jumped in. All right. How's it going? Sam, are you on video? You want to jump in for some closing remarks today?
Close us up strong.
Good. All right, cool. I'm gonna click invite and we'll bring you in. Well, let's see if I can see you. Wait, oh, there you are.
Hey, fellas, I'm just coming in from the back of a car in Tampa, Florida. And
nice.
I have no idea what you've been talking about already, but I know it's about time for Brent to close it out.
Well, it is Video Friday, and so we have been talking about video. Matt demoed the new, what's it called?
Blackmagic Web Presenter. So it allows you to hook up your DSLR camera as a webcam.
Yeah, Blackmagic does some really cool stuff when you get to like professional grade live streaming and all that kind of stuff. Cool stuff.
They are the ones. They are the ones. So how did give us a quick? We'll do our news segment right now then. And how did the last day of LSCon go?
I actually didn't go there this morning. Plans changed, and so here I am in Tampa, Florida, much to my surprise. But the rest of the conference demo fest and everything last night was really nice, and great to get to catch up with more folks. Events like that, it's always the in between moments that are the most valuable. But there was some more great talks and sessions and connections and podcasts that were happening then. I got interviewed for one yesterday, and there's other people in the L&D space that are starting to get into this more and more, talking about this show and live streaming and stuff like that in my own session, but also like just topic of conversation, getting it out there. I think there's a lot more interest and less fear than there ever has been. And that was great to see just with the people that I was speaking to at Learning Solutions. Yeah.
Awesome. Quick, give us one project that stood out during Demo Fest, or did you chat too much with people and didn't get a chance to see the project?
Yeah, more the latter.
That's always the way it is.
There's some XAPI stuff that's starting to win awards, which is nice to see. It's actual demos of XAPI projects, as opposed to just, there's this great idea of XAPI. So several of the winners were actually XAPI-based projects.
Okay.
And that's cool that there's actually like rubber meets the road kind of things are happening now. I don't know that there necessarily needs to be any like favoring of a certain technology or anything like that in the awards, but it makes it easier to design better authoring tools, better, tracking of learning, better for video, better for all sorts of reasons. It makes it easier, I think, probably to win awards when you build your foundation on something that's as, as malleable, as extensible as XAPI is. So that was one thing that I noticed.
Cool. Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger and more practical, and more people are starting to use it and jump on board. So, without a doubt, it's something I've been expecting to start seeing for sure as we go.
It's happening now.
What's that?
I said it's happening now, 2017.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, all right. Thanks for jumping in and giving us the quick update and hanging out with us real fast. Are you on your way to the airport or what? What you doing? 5 trainers in a car?
Too long. No, I didn't get to do trainers in the car.
Oh,
I brought my I rented a car. Like I did the whole thing, but whenever I go to a conference is when the LMS lights on fire for clients, and I have to I spent most of yesterday chained to a computer, actually 2 computers and a cell phone, and like working in the corner, and people made fun of me, but that's what happens when I go to a conference. So I didn't get to put trainers in a car and record them. Sorry, Matt, I tried.
No worries. If we're talking about it, the reality is it's a very constraining format. So I've been thinking, okay, well, how do we adjust this so it's easier for everyone? Because there's some hesitation with the car, and it's understandable.
I think it's fun, man. I still think it's fantastic, and
it is.
I've got it on my list of things to do here in Phoenix. So I'm going to rally 5 trainers however I can and stick them in a car, and we're going to do it.
Well, I think
it helps.
I think it's like a lot of things. Get a format, and then we can just play with it. It doesn't have to be. It's not strict, right? It's not meant to be restrictive. I want this to be open and community based. So, you do it at a table because that's what you've got. Do it playing. Maybe you get 5 trainers playing D&D in a car. No. 5 players talking about training stuff. I don't know. It could be cards, or it could be over breakfast. I don't really care. What I really care about is conversation. Much like what we're doing here is just having good conversation.
Yeah.
It does help if you know people first, though. As Matt found out when he was inviting people at DevLearn, it sounds a little creepy. Like, hey, come ride in my car and we'll drive somewhere. I got a little of that effect too when I was in one of my sessions where I was saying in my session on podcasting and live streaming, and if anybody wants to get in my car and we'll drive around, and I got that same whoa, dude.
It's a panic. And I have candy.
Right. Candy. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm just going to record you. It's okay. What have we done?
Gosh, I think that is the note we should end on for today, for sure. Thanks, Matt, for jumping in and showing us some tech today and for Video Friday. Sam, thanks for jumping in from your car. Fantastic. I love to show people the flexibility of video, and it can be done anywhere. And now with multiple devices, get your DSLR hooked up and start getting some high quality video. Let me just do a quick reminder. I'm gonna go ahead and punch the X button and close you guys out, and then close out the show. But thanks again, guys. We'll see you around. And to everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out today. Don't forget to go sign up for the newsletter. We're going to match up the list of people that were hanging out with us today, and the people that are signed up for the tldc.us website, the newsletter that is there. And we will pull those lists together, and we will randomly choose somebody from that list to get our free Camtasia giveaway. I was just going to announce how we were going to do it today and then do the giveaway next week, but what the heck? Everybody's been so fantastic today. We got such a good crew. We'll just give it away today. What the heck? Live on the edge. And then we'll figure out some other contests later to do another giveaway at some point. Luis says we will announce the winner within the hour. So there you go. We will have a winner before you head out to lunch. Well, depending on what time zone you're in. So before the end of the day, Lisa, for you, before you go to bed, we'll be in and all set. But anyways, thanks again, everybody. Today was great. Video Friday. You can use the hashtag VidFry or hashtag Video Friday. Share this podcast with all your friends, tldc.us. You can click this little share button. There should be a share button underneath the video as you're watching this. If there isn't, let me know and I'll figure out how you can do that. But anyways, lots of ways, obviously, on social media that you can share this. But tell all your friends. The more the merrier. We like to have a lot of conversations. Lisa, I want to get you on here in the video window one of these days. So let me know when you're ready and you'd like to do that, and I'll get you invited into the window for sure. All righty. Sounds like a plan. Good deal. All right. Well, hey, this has been loads of fun. The first full week of TLD Chat. Everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for supporting the TLDC. And there'll be lots of new information coming out soon. A winner in an hour. And everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday as we talk and focus on the center of the rings of focus, you and what you can do to improve yourself and get better at what you do. Everybody have a great weekend.